Look at this control. When the user taps on it, it displays a list of options where the user can pick from if it's convenient to them. If not, they can select other and a text field will pop up with the keyboard so they can tap immediately. That's what we're doing today. One thing that happened in a short series that's being published at the same time as this video was that we created a form. This is a form to add a new recipe, and we have some text fields, a stepper for the cooking info and the number of servings, but we also have ingredients. Now, right now, in the quantity fractions and unit field, we just have pickers for each of them. However, keep in mind that recipes are very diverse. There can be a lot of values, and we don't want to constrain the user to this. This is just a suggestion. So what we're going to do is we're going to add options here for an other option, actually. And when the user taps on this other option, this picker will transform into a text field. Now, picker has a generic value. However, since we're doing a text field, we're only going to deal with strings here. Just like with a text field and a picker, we're going to have a binding value, in this case for the string. Before continuing with the view, let's make the preview build. And given that we're showing the options, the user of the PickerTextField can determine all of the options except for one, which is the other option. We'll allow the user to pass in a placeholder. Here we're just adding a button so we can clear the text field. Now, all of this is, of course, if we are showing the text field. And if we aren't, that's when we're showing the picker. We had a title for each of these pickers. So we'll also allow the user to pass one of those. Here we're just adding all of the options in the picker, and the tag is so that when we select it, that is what sets the value in selection. And at the end, we will have our other option. Our picker style will have menu. Menu style is the one that we have right now. It's this one, the one that pops up. There we have it. So this is the picker we have right now. Now when we choose other, we want this to change into a text field. And careful there, not with the other string. It needs to be an empty text field that has the focus of the keyboard. So that was one of the reasons we use this. This is focus. This is the value that we're going to set to true. And that's what pops up the keyboard programmatically with the text field focus on it. And the user can immediately start typing on the keyboard. So what do we have to add so that our view listens to all of the changes? It's an several unchanged. So one of them will be for the selection. We do want to know when the selection changed to one of the values. For the first one, we need to see, is the new selection the other option? Then that's when we focus on the text field. And then if it isn't, we also need to check, was this new selection something that's not empty? So we're going to show the text field. Actually, let's do this with an animation. The custom text, we will set it to empty. The user is not typing on it. We will set the focus to the text field. Be very careful to not do this is text field focus within the with animation. Focus state and with animation do not play well. And we'll set the value to again empty because that's what the text field is. You cannot see the keyboard, but you could see that the text field got pushed up. That's what means the keyboard is up in the preview. We also need to add an action here to this button. Let's do that. So first thing is, if we clear the value, then we're back to square zero, right? There's no content. And since there's no content, we want to offer the flexibility to the user to have a picker. So let's see. We select here. We select kilograms. The value is selected. We still have an option to select. When we select other, notice that the text field got moved up. We tap on clear and it goes back to being a picker. Now we also have to add something to our change. So when the focus changes away from the text field, we need to know if we do have a value of none. If we do not have a value, then that's when we need to show the picker again. So the new focus is false and the custom text is empty, meaning the user didn't do anything. They just dismissed the keyboard without actually typing something. They want to reset to picker. Let's try adding how we have right now the picker text field to one of our current pickers. Let's see how that picker behaves. We have the whole unit here. We have all of the options. We have other. We might consider actually putting other on the top. Once we have this, we have pick a unit. Let me pop up the keyboard. Let's do it again. So done dismisses it. We have whole unit here. It pops up a keyboard. We need to fix that. Other and other does display the keyboard. To address we don't have the field selected. We will go away with our picker title. We will have a placeholder always. And the placeholder will be both in the text field and in the picker. And we will add the tag of the empty string, which corresponds to our initial selection. Another thing we are missing is syncing to a value. So that's when it appears. We need to know if the selected value already corresponds to something in the picker so that we trigger this selection, and that also determines the focus of the text field. So this will happen. It won't happen right now, but when we're loading an existing recipe that already has ingredients, well, if there's already a unit and it's not part of the option selection, then we should be showing the text field with the value. Okay, after some debugging, turns out form it's a combination. It's the fact that form and pickers plus this text field do not work that well. So if you see here, everything is normal. However, because our text fields here is not part of the text fields here, once we dismiss this, the text field will appear here, and it's actually filtering for the picker. It's neat, but we cannot make this behavior go away. So we'll have to deal with a workaround because I do want to maintain all of this inside of a form. It's a good thing that if the user cannot scroll to one of the last options, well, they'll have to resort to other. And since we're adding other to the top, well, that'll unblock the user. It's not ideal, but it's what we have right now. There are three pickers here. We could choose just options for each one the unit. However, if the user wants, they can just select other. Ingredient unit won't do anything, by the way. They can select other and just type, and this dismisses. We still have the bug, but again, the user cannot reach to the options below, but they can unblock here. In case you were wondering about the evidence, well, here I replace form with a scroll view. That's the only change I did. I open this. Of course, it looks ugly. It doesn't have the background of a form. Let me dismiss the keyboard. Here, let's select other for the ingredient unit. Start typing something, dismiss it. If I open fractions, there's no more keyboard here. It doesn't appear. So yeah, it's something that happens with form, picker, with menu, picker style, plus the custom picker view that I'm doing. So pretty much of an edge case. Also, we created our text field that has a convenient list where the user can select some presets instead of typing. If they do desire to type, they can just select the other option and type whatever they want. See you next time. Bye.